Hello, welcome to Daisy Case Primitives. My name is Christy. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about a couple of things. My passion for decorating, primitive colonial style decorating, and those videos will be labeled Feather Your Nest, and also cross stitching, which will be labeled Flosstube. So today we're going to talk stitching. So come on in, settle down, and we'll get into
We have a lot to
stitching.
talk about today.
I hope I can get it all in the amount of time that I can. I have this all to go through. So let's just stop jawing and get on with it. First thing I want to do is share my finishes. I thought I had this all organized better, but let's do that. Okay, first one is Mary Jane Moody by Of Female Worth, and I just got this frame this week. This frame came from the Rusty Roof on Etsy, and you can get custom sizes. When I got this, the frame was sanded down to the bare wood, and in my normal primitive grungy style, I had to darken it up. So I took some wax and just went over these edges and darkened it up a little bit, but there she is. I try to work on a black sampler each morning as I'm watching the news and having my coffee or tea. So since I completed that one, last video I shared with you the next one I wanted to work on, and it is called Caroline W. Dickinson Sampler. It's by Country Rustic Primitives Jenny Hoffman on Etsy. And I am stitching this one on, sorry, pull this out. This is Tabby Cat Linens 40 count. I'm stitching on 40 count. Typically I do 36, but 40 count creme brulee linen. And this is how far I've gotten on it. I really like the grungy modeling in this, and I think, you know, this black sampler can, you know, really complement that. They work together with just the solid color floss. And I'm using Weeks charcoal. Yeah, Weeks charcoal for this one. And that's how far I've gotten. This is about, I think right here at the G is about halfway. So it's not gonna be really large, but that's perfect. I need something kind of long and narrow to fill in the space on the wall to make the sampler gathering look nice. So that's my progress on Caroline. I really like the variety of the fonts of the alphabet lettering. So that is my next black sampler I'm working on. Won't be long and that little wall will be filled up, which that'll be awesome. Okay, so to continue on with FFOs, I last time shared that I got this little guide done. This is Scarecrow's Ride by Shelly on Primitive Stitching on Etsy. And I stitched this on a 36 count. No, I stitched this on a 32 count, kind of a creamy colored linen. And then I used this Instant Antique Spray by Primitive Gatherings. I used that on this to kind of spray, and it gave it these big blotchy stains, and it, you know, it just kind of primed it up. This is another frame that I got from the Rusty Roof on Etsy, and I really liked the green color. I thought it looked cute with the fall colors. This, I I've been trying to do some scarecrows because I don't have many for a scarecrow gathering that I'm going to do in September for my decorating. And once again, this frame was sanded down on the edges, on the outer edge and this inner rim, and I took some darker wax, went over the whole frame and darkened up the wood grain and that bare wood, and I really like how it turned out. This one came with a little, this one you can order whether you want them to hang or stand. I chose this one to stand. So it has this little peg that you insert back here in the back, and it will stand up like an easel. So that was another fully finish. Okay, I have another fully finish. I've been productive. So this is Pineberry Lane's Fancy Blacket Shoe. Another little scarecrow design. And here's my finish. Still have all those little hot glue wax tendrils hanging off everywhere. Okay, so this I stitched on. It was a scrap piece of linen. I don't recall what it was, but it's 36 count. I do know that, and I used the called for. I used the DMC. Oh, my note here says 36 count Shrekie's Tan by Needle Bling Design. And I used the charted DMC. I changed all the crows. All I had to do is read my notes. All the crows I used DMC 3371, and the stars I changed to 400. Also, let's see, in the chart by Fancy, little witchy girl, she has FB for her initials. I didn't want to do that, so I just chose to add in some more little motifs and use the same colors. So how I finished this is I just mounted this on a piece of cardboard. And several years ago, we purchased an older home, over 100-year home, and we remodeled it, updated it. And in the home, there was all kinds of little treasures that we found. And this, I think was used for upholstery purposes, like webbing in a seat, in the base of a seat. And so I wrapped the finished stitched piece around the cardboard, and then I took a piece of this, and then I sliced it or cut it down the center, and I glued it over here onto this side, on either side. It blended in well with the fabric. I like my finishes still to be simple. I'm trying to step up my finishing game a little bit, but I still don't want a lot of extra on them. But so I added that, and then I used Lady Dot Creates Toast Chenille, and then I just kind of glued it around the edge of the cardboard. So there's that finish. Now, the intention here of how I'm going to use her, we'll talk about a little bit later. Okay, next finish. Last video I shared with you that I'd been digging around in my stuff, and I found this little piece that wasn't all the way complete. And all I had to do was to put the C and fill in the centers of the sunflowers and do the vase. This is a little freebie pattern called Sunflowers and Crows, and it is from Primitive Betty's blog spot. I think you could probably find this on Pinterest as a freebie also. But I went ahead and finished it up, and it fit nicely in this little frame. This was stitched on Ada, and another piece that I used the Primitive Gatherings antiquing spray and just darkened it up a little bit. So there is another finish. So I'm getting quite a little crow and scarecrow collection going here. So when I change out the decor for September, I like to add those pieces to the decorating for that month. So another little cutie. All right. Now this one I'm kind of proud of. Like I said, I've been wanting to step up my finishing game a little bit. So this one I shared with you last time I wanted to start on, and I don't have a cover photo, but it is called Crows in the Corn Pillatuck by Shelly On, Primitive Stitchin' on Etsy. So here is my little finish. I think it's just so cute. So what we have here is a piece of, I used 32 count linen, kind of a creamy colored linen, and I stitched it with the DMC. I did do some changes. I don't even recall now, but I tried to stay true to the color scheme, but I just used the color flosses that I had on hand. So stitched it up, and then I sprayed it with the Primitive Gatherings spray to kind of grunge it a little bit. And then as I finished it, I had quite a bit of excess on either side of the stitched piece. So I took those two raw edges and, sandwiched them together, and I seamed that edge. Then I took some raffia. This is all raffia. I wanted it to look like a stuffed scarecrow. And I just kind of cut off pieces of the raffia and kind of sandwiched them inside the little tuck. And then I just took a running stitch and stitched over the pieces in there to kind of close off the top. And then I went ahead and stuffed it with polyfill, and then did the same thing on the bottom. So I just turned it up this way, cut my raffia, kind of stuck it down in there, and then just did a running stitch over that to close it up, and that's the end result. And I'm really pleased with how that turned out. Very cute. So I will be changing out the decor here pretty soon. Time's flying, and it will be here before we know it. So, all right, what is next? How many minutes in? All right, this year I've taken each month and started a new sampler every month with the idea of next year I will pull out each month that same sampler that I started, and I will work on it throughout that month just to get some more completed on it. So for August sampler, I chose Phoebe Spillet, running out of room here. Phoebe Spillet, 1869 by Northumberland Sampler Company. And I'm sorry, this is a terrible photo of it, but I was running out of ink when I printed it. It's a PDF. So that kind of gives you an idea of the composition of the design. So I did get a start on this one, and I'm using 36 count old stationery 36 count old stationery linen by Seraphim. And here is my start. This is really going to be a sweet little sampler. Really like the colors. I would show them to you, but they are all DMC and they're just kind of a mess in here. You don't want to see that rat's nest. But stay tuned for more progress. in a year. If we're all here in a year. I decided with a few others to start my Turkey Hollow farm. I gathered everything up for it, and I will be starting, and we will be starting in September, Turkey Hollow Farm by Stacy Nash. I love this design. Love that big mustard cheddar house. So I pulled it out. I don't have a ring for all of these, so they'll probably fall all over the place. I got on my flosses, and I pulled out a piece of 36 count oatmeal by Color and Cotton. And I think this is going to work great for this one. Look at those colors. That's gonna be pretty, I think. I think. Darker than what the photo looks like. I don't even know what this linen is, and I'm not gonna dig it out, what's called for, but I think that's gonna look good. So that'll be another September start. Looking forward to that. Also, I plan on starting, trying to get ready for a few more Halloween pieces to get them finished. I will be doing When Witches Go Riding by Prairie Schooler. So cute. I'll be doing the larger piece. And I pulled out a piece of 36 count XJU's Bunny Mom. It's really dark, but I think it'll be just fine with those darker DMC colors on it. I think it'll pop, and I think it'll look really cute. So that's a September start plan also. So guess what? We're to the bottom of this basket. Okay, so I told you, just a second. Okay, so earlier when I was talking about my little fancy blanket completed piece, that I had some plans for it. Several videos back, I share with you that I bought a vintage picnic basket and how I like to use them for storage. And I shared one that I had recently purchased, and inside it was this basket that would just kind of lay on the top edges and just give you a little more storage. Well, I wanted that particular basket for storing some of my charts, my taller charts. And this was going to get in the way of them being in there. So I've pulled this out, and this has kind of been in my office. I've used it as like to be filed basket for whatever, for leftover flosses that need to go back on the ring, or patterns or fabric or whatever. But I've wanted to use this somehow. So I'm thinking in my scarecrow gathering display for September, I'm going to use this somehow. And I want to just prop fancy in here. Just kind of layer in there. And then I'm going to embellish with, I don't know, you'll have to stay tuned and see what happens. But it all looks really good up here. Now translating it from here to here is another thing, and how it will end up looking, I don't know. So it'll be a surprise to me too. So come back and see how we finish it. But I think that's going to look cool. I thought about, I don't really want to attach her in there permanently, because this little basket can be used for so many things. You can use it on the table and, you know, put other things in it for displays, or it's just functional, like I was using it for like a file basket. But I think it's going to look really cute. I I think it looks really great, the coloring of those threads with this basket. So speaking of the word and the term thread, we say floss and thread, and I don't know, maybe there is a proper terminology. Are these, I've heard, you know, fibers. What, educate me. I don't know. Are these flosses, threads, fibers, all of the above, A or B? What's the combination? I don't know. So that's question of the day. What do you call these? All right. Also, on my travels, which I don't go very far from home, about the furthest I get away from home is about 180 miles away or 200 miles away. So that's my radius. I've shared with you before this finished piece, and I love these frames. This is Mary Barnes by Country Rustic, I believe. But so I found this thrift store frame several years ago. I picked it up then. I think it was like $2.99. I had no idea what I was going to do with it at the time that I purchased it, but I bought it. And this worked out perfect for that. I love how that looks in there. But I found a new to me little antique store down South Missouri. And I picked up this one. Another. What do you call these? Swing frames? I don't know. And they're from when? Like the 30s, 40s, maybe 50s? I don't know. I just think they're pretty. They're charming. So, kind of in comparison, this is, I think, closer to an 8x10. This one is. I don't know. So I found that one. But then I found this one. If I can do this. This big one. Look at that one. It had a big old piece of thick glass in it that was chipped. Look how pretty that is. I love how it's all worn off here. That doesn't bother me one bit. And the end here's all worn off, but isn't that pretty? So I'm gonna have a trio of these. So now I'm looking for just the right samplers that, see if I can juggle this. Me come crashing down. Just the right sampler that will be similar to this, that I can stitch to fill in the other two. So I think that's gonna be pretty cool. I love the coloring. So I'm on the hunt for those. When will I start them? I don't know. When will they get done? I don't know, but it's a plan. So, well, that is all that I have today. We found the bottom of the basket, both baskets. This one's empty, and this one's empty. So, anyway, I hope you saw something that was inspiring to you, and I hope that you got a little bit of stitching time in, and I'm off to try to edit this and get it all pieced together. Thank you all again for stopping by and visiting with me. Thank you for always being kind and commenting. I really appreciate and enjoy all the comments. And take care, and I will see you next time.